In the high-stakes world of Formula One, few figures have cast as long a shadow as Christian Horner. After 2 decades at the helm of Red Bull Racing, securing an astounding 8 Drivers' Championships and 6 Constructors' titles, Horner's sudden departure sent shockwaves through the paddock. But for a man who transformed an energy drink company's racing team into a dominant force in motorsport, the story is far from over. The whispers began almost immediately. Mercedes team principal Toto Wolff, Horner's longtime rival, raised eyebrows with a seemingly casual comment that set the phone world buzzing. He could be rocking up in the FIA, and then, I'm really in trouble. While delivered with Wolff's characteristic dry humor, the statement carried weight. After all, in Formula One, words are chosen as precisely as gear ratios. But would the man who thrived in the heat of competition really trade the pit wall for a desk at the sport's governing body? Juan Pablo Montoya, the outspoken 7-time Grand Prix winner, doesn't think so. If Christian has the chance, he'll come back to lead a team. The only thing that would stop him is if Red Bull's exit package included a non-compete clause. But if I were running Aston Martin, Cadillac, Alpine or Haas, I'd hire him in 2 seconds flat. The most intriguing possibility lies with Alpine, the struggling French outfit desperately seeking experienced leadership. Despite backing from Hollywood investors and a talented driver lineup, the team finds itself in an unthinkable position, dead last in the Constructors' Championship. For Horner, this presents more than just another team principal role. It's a potential ownership opportunity. Industry insiders suggest Alpine is willing to sell a 20% stake for approximately $300 million. For a leader with Horner's track record of turning underperforming teams into champions, it's an enticing proposition. As one senior paddock figure noted, Alpine needs exactly what Christian brings, someone who knows how to build a winning culture from the ground up. The timing couldn't be more critical. Formula One stands on the brink of its most radical transformation in decades. The 2026 regulations will usher in a new era of hybrid power units, pushing nearly 1,000 combined horsepower, with active aerodynamics promising speeds approaching 240 mph. The technical challenge is immense, but it's precisely the kind of complex puzzle Horner has solved before. Pierre Gasly, Alpine's lead driver, can barely contain his enthusiasm about the possibility. What Christian accomplished at Red Bull was remarkable. With his experience and skills, I'm certain we'll see him somewhere in F1 soon. The sport needs leaders like him. Coming from a driver who's experienced both Red Bull and Alpine environments, the endorsement carries particular weight. However, the path back isn't without its complications. Robert Dornbos, a former phone driver turned analyst, points to the addictive nature of success. When you've won 8 drivers and 6 constructors' championships, you reach a level of competitiveness that becomes part of your DNA. Starting over with a midfield team requires immense patience and conviction. The challenges at Alpine run deep. Technical leadership under Pierre Wache and Enrico Balbo has struggled to deliver consistent performance. The team faces the persistent puzzle of finding a second driver who can adapt to their car's peculiar characteristics. These are eerily similar to the issues that contributed to tensions at Red Bull, where the gap between Max Verstappen and his teammates became increasingly difficult to manage. Yet the potential rewards could outweigh the risks. Formula One's growing global appeal has attracted unprecedented investment, with Alpine benefiting from high-profile Hollywood backing despite their current struggles. The 2026 regulations present a reset button for the entire grid. Teams that prepare best for the new era of power units and active aerodynamics could leap ahead of their rivals. Toto Wolff, never one to mince words, acknowledges the void Horner's departure has left. He was one of the main cast. Controversial, polarizing, and not soft-washed. That was good for the entertainment factor. From that perspective, he will be missed. Coming from his fiercest rival, it's perhaps the strongest indication that Horner's return isn't just likely, it's necessary for the sport's continued evolution. The irony isn't lost on paddock veterans. The same qualities that made Horner a controversial figure, his unflinching defense of his drivers, his willingness to challenge authorities, his talent for building championship-winning teams from the ground up, are exactly what struggling teams like Alpine desperately need. As one senior technical director put it, in F1, sometimes your greatest strengths and your biggest headaches come in the same package. As Formula One accelerates toward its revolutionary 2026 regulations, the stakes couldn't be higher. The new era promises a jaw-dropping combination of nearly 500 horsepower of electric boost, merged with 575 horsepower combustion engines. For someone like Horner, who thrives on technical innovation, the timing of his potential return couldn't be more critical. The 2026 cars will fundamentally change how we go racing, explains veteran F1 technical director Marcus Reynolds. We're talking about machines that will rocket out of corners with unprecedented acceleration, hitting speeds close to 400 kilometers per hour on the straights. It's exactly the kind of challenge that brings out the best in leaders like Christian. The Alpine opportunity presents a unique confluence of timing and potential. Despite their current struggles, the team's infrastructure at Enstone remains world-class. Their wind tunnel facilities rival those of top teams, and their technical brain trust includes some of the sport's brightest minds. What they lack is the cohesive leadership to harness these resources effectively. But the road back to the top won't be easy, as former F1 strategist Claire Harrison points out. Building a winning team isn't just about having the fastest car or the biggest budget. It's about creating an environment where hundreds of talented individuals work in perfect harmony toward a common goal. Christian mastered this at Red Bull, but replicating that success with a new organization is a monumental challenge. The timing of the 2026 regulations could be Horner's secret weapon. With active aerodynamics promising to flatten wings on straights and revolutionary hybrid systems changing how energy is deployed, every team starts with a relatively clean slate. For a leader known for identifying technical advantages others miss, this regulatory reset button represents a golden opportunity. The financial landscape has also evolved dramatically. Alpine's Hollywood backing, despite their current on-track struggles, demonstrates Formula One's unprecedented investor appeal. Sources suggest the team's potential 20% stake sale could command around $300 million, a figure that reflects both the sport's soaring valuations and its future growth potential. What makes this situation fascinating is how it could reshape team ownership models, observes motorsport finance expert Dr. Sarah Chen. We're potentially looking at a new hybrid structure, where experienced leaders like Horner take on both operational and ownership roles. It's a model that could become increasingly common as F1 continues to attract sophisticated investors. The human element remains crucial. Pierre Gasly's recent comments about Horner's leadership style reveal the deep impact he had at Red Bull. Christian has this unique ability to make everyone feel valued while maintaining incredibly high standards. He creates an environment where people aren't afraid to push boundaries. The specter of the FIA role, first raised by Toto Wolff, hasn't completely disappeared. However, paddock insiders increasingly view it as unlikely. The FIA needs strong leaders, absolutely, says veteran motorsport journalist Mark Thompson, but Christian's real genius lies in building and leading teams. Putting him behind a desk would be like asking a master chef to write cookbooks instead of running a kitchen. Recent paddock rumors suggest multiple teams have made discreet approaches to gauge Horner's interest. While Alpine appears the most logical fit, other midfield teams recognize the transformative potential his leadership could bring. The question isn't whether Horner will return to Formula One, but rather which team will provide the right combination of challenge, opportunity, and control to tempt him back. The technical challenges of 2026 add another fascinating layer to the equation. Teams must master complex hybrid systems while adapting to active aerodynamics that could see cars approaching 240 mph on straights. As one senior engineer notes, we're not just evolving the current formula, we're fundamentally reimagining how F1 cars generate and deploy power. The learning curve will be steep for everyone,